Hidden Haki moments in One Piece. Recently in the One Piece story, the power of Haki has kind of risen to the same level of awakening when it comes to Devil Fruits, and it has now reached an expansion, a different level to the actual ability. But thinking about it, there's been many moments in the entire series that we've been thinking this might have been a Haki moment, but nobody has never gotten clear confirmation. So I thought I would put a list of things that I believe that might be hidden Haki moments in the One Piece story. Now a lot of these are confirmed, kind of like 100% there probably are Haki moments, and some of these might be a little bit of a reach, but I thought I would put down my list. And if you guys have some hidden Haki moments that you think that might have been Haki, just put it down in the comment section. I want to hear what you guys think. Now the first one I want to actually discuss is something that happened early in this series. I'm talking about Monkey D. Dragon saving Luffy. Yes, Monkey D. Dragon saving Luffy. You probably think, whoa, that never happened. Well, that did happen actually, and I'm not talking about the Lockdown moment where he actually stopped Smoker and the wind. That might have been a Haki moment too, but I'm really talking about the actual lightning when Luffy's like he's smiling at his death, and the shock of Smoker's face, and Buggy's about to execute him, and then lightning comes down, and it's all over. But why did that lightning come down? Was it fate? Was it destiny? Or was there someone who was able to manipulate that lightning? Now, some people say Monkey D. Dragon's Devil Fruit ability. Some people say it was just luck, a coincidence. But honestly, I'll be honest here, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a Conqueror's Haki moment. We've seen in the series that Conqueror's Haki might be able to manipulate the actual weather and the surroundings. So I definitely believe this might have been a Haki moment. I could be wrong, but it's just my speculation right now. But I do think Great Terminal, when he used his wind power there, and at the same time using his wind power during the Smoker save, those are kind of maybe hints to him using Conqueror's Haki in the Lockdown arc with the lightning. Who knows? The next one actually might surprise you. I'm talking about Nami, and you're probably thinking Nami's not a strong character. Nami's not an impressive character. She might be one of the weakest Straw Hat pirates. A lot of people argue her at Usopp, but I'll be honest here, Nami might have had a badass Haki moment early on in the One Piece story. You guys remember when Nami got sick, when she got bitten by that bug on Little Garden, and they were on their journey to Drum Kingdom to actually help her, and they needed navigation, but Zoro was sleeping and not doing his job right, and nobody else had the navigational skills of Nami. So Nami comes out of there and she's like, go to the left real quickly, and she sees that a storm is about to come. So it definitely kind of seems like it was probably her skills as a navigator, but some people have been hinting that this might have been a early observation Haki moment. Now, is this kind of confirmed that's a Haki moment? No, but I believe this is just because it's a chance of a Haki moment. I put it on this list. I think the most hyped up Haki moment that might have been is in the Zoro versus Mr. One or Das Bones fight. In this battle, we see Zoro go ham, Das Bones goes ham, and Zoro takes a huge lot of damage. We saw the blood everywhere, and I definitely believe this is one of the most badass scenes in the One Piece story when you see all of these stones. And first there's Zoro's flashback when it comes to his teacher Koshiro and the cutting paper scene and everything like that, the breath of the sword. So many crazy stuff in that flashback that might be alluding to a sort of Haki, cutting steel. But the thing that kind of seemed like it was kind of confirmed as a Haki moment is when Zoro dodges every single one of those stones that are falling down on him. Now, I believe this was probably a early sign of observation Haki. Now, is it kind of confirmed? No. And could I be reaching? Yes, I could be reaching right now because it hasn't been said that it's an observation Haki moment. But I'm just going to say that it could be an early moment. And it was badass seeing him dodge all of it. And then he knew where his sword was. That's the scary thing about it. He knew where his sword were. Yo, hyped indeed. Now, we saw some early stuff when it comes to Zoro putting his arm out and like luck when it comes to Lockdown, but this versus Das Bones is definitely, I believe, might be a Haki moment. Now, another part that happened pre-time skip, it was actually even early in the story wherever they entered the Grand Line. After the Alabasta arc, they went to Jaya, and we saw a character who, let's be honest here, he's one of the most hyped up characters in the actual anime of One Piece, the manga of One Piece, Blackbeard, Marshall D. Teach, and he's having this whole speech of a man's dream never dies, and talking about how let them laugh at you because in the end you get the last laugh and stuff like that, do your own thing. Just Blackbeard is spitting facts, and the crazy thing about it is once his speech is over, he leaves and Luffy's like, Nami's like, wait, what happened? Like, oh, what was he saying about Sky Island and everything like that? Let's go ask more questions. And Luffy's like, it's not him, it's they. And then it's like Zoro, I think Zoro said it's not him, it's they, but I know Luffy does say something about he's not alone or something like that. So I don't know what they actually say confirmation, because it's different in a lot of different translations, but definitely this was a hype moment. It's not he, it's they. What does that mean? Did they use observation haki to actually sense that Blackbeard had more crewmates there, or did they use observation haki in a sense of seeing that Blackbeard might have been different when it comes to his body? We know Marco stated that Blackbeard has a different body than regular people, so who knows, but I believe this might have been a haki moment by Luffy and Zoro. That would have been badass if it was. Now, you're probably thinking this probably is an obvious moment, but I think I should still add it to the actual list. It's Shanks versus Whitebeard, Edward Newgate, and the reason why I'm adding is because it was actually a very nice, badass moment that I believe doesn't really get talked about a lot. But Shanks versus Whitebeard, when they had that clash, Shanks with his one arm, Whitebeard with his swinging that freaking weapon, I forgot the name of it, but it was a very badass name, and there actually is a change in the actual clouds. Yes, it kind of seemed like they split the skies of their clash, and I believe this definitely is alluding to a Conqueror's Haki clash that we definitely didn't know about at that time. But after seeing many Conqueror's Haki clashes, it kind of been confirmed that this is a Conqueror's Haki clash, and just seeing the clouds split and making it seem like the skies split from their power, oh me oh my. This is when I know like One Piece has a great way of hyping you up, and this is one of the biggest examples of it. Now this probably is a very minor moment, and I think it has been confirmed in the anime. I'm not too sure about the manga, I have to reread, but I definitely believe that the Luffy stopping the animal of Duval in the actual Sabaody arc is definitely a big moment when it comes to Haki moment. Like we've seen many times Rayleigh doing it in the time skip, before the time skip when he stops the elephant. We saw Luffy do it in Fishman Island. Like it's just cool when you actually stop a beast with your Haki, and Luffy doing it early on pre-time skip, like this is hype. I'll be honest here, this is kind of hype because this is kind of like the first moment of Luffy actually using this power. So definitely got to say that him stopping that little beast there, it was very crazy, because it was kind of like a foreshadowing of many great things to come when it comes to Monkey D. Luffy and his abilities. Now this one actually is kind of might be a minor spoiler if you're an anime only. I'm not gonna say you should leave the video, maybe mute this part of the video, but I believe that this definitely has to do with our Haki when it comes to observation Haki, and that's Rayleigh when he comes into the auction house and he's like, whoa, don't tell me anything, let me figure this out on my own. And he looks around, he looks at Luffy, looks at the rest of the crew, looks at Eustace Kid, looks at Law, looks at everybody, and then he finally knows what happened. And it's crazy because how did he know that? I believe that he might have used a new form of Haki that's kind of recently been revealed. We know a character Katakuri is able to look into the future a little bit because he trains observation Haki so much, but Rayleigh is a master Haki user, so he might have been able to use my observation Haki to the point of him actually seeing a lot into the future and seeing what happened. And that's maybe why he said I can't use Haki anymore because I use it all. Maybe that's why, because he uses secret power that we didn't know about. Oh me oh my, hype stuff indeed. Now this probably moment is very overlooked. Like I know a lot of people forget about this moment because it's so minor when they actually hear it, but then like it's so bigger in the future. But I'm talking about Impel Down and Blackbeard. You're probably thinking, what? Blackbeard used Haki and Impel Down? Yes, he actually kind of did use Haki and Impel Down when he says to Luffy, whoa, your Haki has grown. And it's crazy because the only way that you know someone's Haki has grown, I believe, is if you're using Haki yourself. And maybe this is a different form of Haki that we just don't know about yet, or maybe it's just him looking at Luffy and seeing that he's grown as a character and as a person. Now definitely this Impel Down was after Sabaody, and we seen Luffy use Haki in Sabaody. We see Luffy use Haki in Amazon Lily, so he has used our Haki before. So definitely I believe that this is a crazy moment that Blackbeard using maybe observation Haki, maybe some different new power, who knows, but I believe it was Haki. Your Haki has grown. What a badass line. Now this moment has kind of been a simple one, but the thing is, a lot of times pre-time skip, you're not too sure if it's Haki or not because they didn't really use the color of armor and Haki. They didn't use the black color they do post-time skip. But yeah, the three admirals had to face Whitebeard Shockwave, and they just put all their hands like this. They just put their hands up, and out of nowhere Whitebeard Shockwave was done. It was stopped. But how did they stop it? At the time we're like, well, how did they stop it? Just their hands. They're Loki users, that's the crazy thing about them. But how did they do that? Well, it was actually their Haki that stopped Whitebeard Shockwave. And it's just the whole thing about, I've been trying to say, yo, Haki is so important because it kind of is the best counter when it comes to fighting Delphi users. And I believe the fact that these Lokis are using Haki, it just showcases how powerful the admirals are. Because I've always said, if you're a Loki and you have impressive Haki like Sabo, Aokiji, Kizaru, Akainu, and now the recently showcased Katakuri, spoiler alert for your anime only, I definitely believe that you are legit. Now, this also happened in Marineford, Monkey D. Luffy versus Mihawk. And I'll be honest here, this is a fight that I actually didn't think was going to happen. It kind of surprised me that Mihawk's like, yo, Shanks, I'm sorry, but I have to go all out on this guy. I have to take him out. Well, I don't know if he went all out, but I still believe that he actually was almost able to cut off Luffy's arm. And Luffy was about to do that Goma Goma no Mi, but he stopped himself. Was this a moment where Luffy stopped himself because he actually used Observation Haki to see that his arms would have been cut off if he actually did do that attack? We've seen signs of this happening when I said to Rayleigh and Sabaody, and it's kind of been confirmed in the story recently. But if Luffy was able to see a little bit in the future with his Observation Haki, and he didn't really know it, but like, you know, Katakuri knows how to do it, but Luffy doesn't know how to do it, that would be crazy. Though it hasn't been confirmed, but I believe that these signs we're seeing early in the story is amazing because you actually see in the it kind of reminds you of Pell. When Pell took that nuke in Alabasta, we're like, well, else BS, that's crazy. But now then we saw that Zoans are, when they are awakened, they actually have crazy healing power. So I love seeing stuff that's been explained after we saw in the earlier. So I love seeing that stuff like that. Now this is probably one of the most controversial moments. It's Akainu versus Marco and Vista. You guys don't know Marco and Vista, the first division commander Marco and Vista, I believe the first strongest Whitebeard pirate under Whitebeard, of course, and the actual third or fourth, I don't know, but between Vista and Ace, I'm not too sure, but definitely they actually attacked the Admiral Akainu, now the current fleet admiral, and Akainu was able to still be a Logia, but he comments, oh, Haki, how annoying. So definitely, how did Akainu do this? Well, in my opinion, I believe Akainu used a stronger armor and Haki than them to stay in his Logia state, and this is crazy because we see moments where Marco kicks Aokiji and he gets him. Marco kicks Kizaru and he kind of gets him. But when it comes to Akainu, I believe this kind of showcases how impressive his armor and Haki is compared to the other admirals. Now, I don't believe that Marco has a better armor and Haki than Aokiji and Kizaru. I don't believe it's like that. But I believe that the fact that Akainu's armor and Haki is so impressive that Marco and Vista couldn't really touch him like that. So crazy stuff. Some people say it's not really a Haki moment, just him manipulating his fruit. But I believe this was a Haki moment by Akainu to stay in his Logia state. Badass stuff indeed. And the final thing I want to talk about in Marineford that might have been a Haki moment, there's kind of been confirmation of some Haki moments here, is when Shanks saves Kobe, and we know Kobe already had his already crazy Haki moment before that, Observation Haki, but Shanks saves Kobe and Kobe knocks out. How did Kobe get knocked out? A lot of people think that Shanks actually used Conqueror's Haki because Kobe has foam in his mouth. Now, I think that'd be very cool, but I don't think it just showcases how much of a Haki Shanks has, because Kobe's not fodder, but Kobe is dealt. When it comes to near Shanks, you are fodder compared to Shanks. So Shanks actually knocking out Kobe with Conqueror's Haki would be a crazy hidden Haki moment. Now, I do want to say this. I'm not too sure if that's a Haki moment, but we do know that Shanks did use Haki against Akainu because Akainu's a Logia. To stop Akainu's punch, he definitely used armored Haki. The sword he was using didn't look that impressive, and Shanks just stopped him with ease. You gotta give Shanks, because I'll be honest here, Shanks, honestly, right now, when it comes to Haki, I believe he might be the strongest Haki user right now in the story. That's how impressive Shanks seems to me. Okay, one skipping all the way to the actual Punk Hazard arc, Zoro versus Monet. And this is one that actually is another controversial moment, and people believe that Zoro used Conqueror's Haki. Now, do I believe Zoro used Conqueror's Haki? I believe that if Zoro did use Conqueror's Haki here, it would be in the same level of when Luffy did in Sabaody. I gotta be very minor with that. But honestly, I just don't think it was Conqueror's Haki. Now, I do think it would be kind of cool if it was him instilling fear in Monet. She couldn't get herself back together, and she was an array of a mess. But honestly, I believe it was just Zoro showcasing his power on Monet. Zoro cuts Monet a little bit on her cheek, and she now knows that Zoro might hit her. So when she actually gets hit by Zoro and it's not armored Haki, she thought it was Haki, so she thought she was done. She thought she was dead. When you ever had a near death situation, you definitely need time to get yourself back together, get yourself situated. So definitely, I don't fault Monet for this. It just showcases how badass Zoro was. And the final hidden Haki moment, I want to talk about this real quickly. Fujitora was in the situation of a law, the Straw Hat Pirates, Doflamingo, and that whole crazy thing over there. We saw his ship, he was eating noodles while his ship was using gravity, meteors. It's just crazy stuff that Fujitora can do. But Fujitora says that there's been a change in the battle. He gets a premonition. So did Fujitora look into the future a little bit to see what was going on in the actual Dressrosa Island and not outside the island where he was? That'll be crazy. And we know Fujitora, I don't know why I said Fujitora. Fujitora is a crazy character because he's blind, yet he's able to do things that most people with eyes can't do. So his observation haki has to be an elite level. So I wouldn't be surprised if you could see a little bit into the future like another character in the manga recently. So hype stuff Fujitora. That's the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to hidden haki moments. But tell me your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think that I have in this list that's very not really hidden haki and it's just reaching? What do you think is actual hidden haki moment? Just put it in the comment section. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. Like and share if you enjoy, like and share only if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more One Piece content. I'm the Legend Mac, and I'm gone.